Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And so for today's video I have a very exciting video for all of you guys. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys my makeup collection and storage, and I'm going to do this video in a couple of parts because I know none of you guys want to sit through like an hour-long video. I know I don't want to, so I'm going to split it up into a couple different videos. So for today I shared with you guys all of my eyeshadow palettes. So that is the first part of this makeup collection. I'm also going to be sharing with you guys like how I store my makeup and everything like that. I did want to just start off with eyeshadow first, so that is what I have for you guys today. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video, and if you want to see how I store my eyeshadow palettes and all the ones that I own, then just go ahead and keep on watching. So this is where I keep my makeup right here. It is this Alex 9 drawer right here. That is what it looks like, and that's where all of my makeup stays. And on the top I just have 2 perfumes, a dish for my rings, and then 3 dishes back there for my makeup brushes, and then just some random lipsticks. And then right in the back is where I keep most of my eyeshadow palettes. So this container that I have is from TJ Maxx, and I thought it would be a really great way to display my palettes and just to store them. So I'm going to go through those, and then I also have the first drawer in my Alex 9 drawer just keeps some of my newer palettes. So I'm going to go through that last, but I'm going to start off with this first. I am just going to go ahead and move this so you guys can see all of the eyeshadow palettes better. So I'm going to go ahead and just quickly do that first. So I'm just going to start off with everything in this first row and then make my way into the back. So the first palette that I have is this one from Sephora Collection, and this is what it looks like on the inside. I got this at Black Friday a couple years ago. I really liked the colors at the time. I just don't really use this palette that much anymore. And then the next one that I have is from Tarte, and this is the Tarteist Pro palette. I used to love this palette so much. This is what the palette looks like. I really like this palette for traveling because you have this ginormous mirror. And then also you have so many different colors in here, so you can create so many different looks. This is like the first eyeshadow palette that I've ever gotten. This is the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette. I take this with me everywhere. This is what it looks like. It is just obviously a basics palette. I love these brown shades. I just love everything about this palette, so would definitely recommend it. It is an older palette, but I think it is so worth it. And then another like staple palette, especially for traveling, that I love is this one from Tarte. This is the Tartelette Tease palette, and this is what it looks like. These 2 shimmer shades are everything. They are so beautiful. And then the next one that I have is the Too Faced White Chocolate Chip palette. This one I honestly do not use. It's also just so hard to open. So this is what the palette looks like. To be honest, I love Too Faced eyeshadows. You guys will see a lot of the eyeshadows that I have are Too Faced, but this one is just not the typical Too Faced formula. The formula is just not that good. These shades aren't that pigmented, but I do use this on occasion. But yeah, so that is the White Chocolate Chip palette. And then now moving on to this row right here, I have the Sugar palette from the brand Face Candy. This is a dupe to the Sweet Peach palette from Too Faced. I actually really like this palette. It performs really well, so definitely would recommend it. And then I also have the actual Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. This is probably one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. These colors are just stunning, and the palette does smell really good. I absolutely am in love with this really pretty gold shimmer shade. Just everything about this palette is just stunning. Definitely one of my top favorites. So definitely if you don't have it, I would definitely recommend it. The next one that I have is from Urban Decay, and this is the Moon Dust palette. This just has a couple of shimmer shades. I don't use this that often, but these shades are really, really pretty if you are looking for some sparkle to add to your look. But yeah, it's really pretty, so I definitely do like it. And then the next palette that I have is from Bad Habit, and this is the Aphrodite palette. This is what it looks like. So the inside of it looks like this. This is a dupe to one of the Huda Beauty palettes. I can't think off the top of my head which one, but I do like these shades. I think they're pigmented. They work nice. I actually have another one of these that I gave to my sister, and she really likes it, so yeah. Really like this one. And then I also have this one again from Bad Habit. This is the Inferno palette, and this is what it looks like. It's just a very warm toned eyeshadow look. I honestly don't like the way warm tones look on me anymore, so I don't ever really pick this one up, but I do really like it. And then this next palette is from NYX, and it's like their Happy Birthday palette. I don't really know. I got this at Ulta when it was my birthday, and this is what it looks like. It's just, again, another warm toned palette, which I don't even really use that much anymore, like I said, because I'm not into warm tones. So I have that one. And then I also have the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. Again, a very warm toned eyeshadow palette, and this is what it looks like. These shades are stunning. I love them so much. I just don't like the way warm tones look on me anymore, so I don't ever really reach for this, but I do really like this palette and would recommend it. And then the last palette in this row is the Lorac Pro palette. I used to use this all the time when I first got it, but I haven't used it recently. This is what the palette looks like. It's just kind of like a more neutral palette. These shimmer shades at the bottom are stunning. I really like them. I use this a lot more in the summertime. I love the shade Nectar. It's just a really pretty palette, so I would recommend it. I don't know if you can still purchase this, but if you can, I would recommend it. And then now moving on to the last row, I have the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, one of my favorite palettes. Again, this is a more pink toned palette. I really like it. It's stunning. And then behind it, because I kind of had to double up some palettes, this one is from Too Faced, and this is the Chocolate Bonbons palette. I love this palette so much. These shades, again, are very neutral, but I really like them. I think that they're so stunning and they're easy to blend out, so I have this one. So then the next one that I have is from the Balm Cosmetics, and this is the Nude Dude palette. This is volume 2, and to be honest, I don't ever really use this palette. I prefer other shades. I know these are all pretty neutral, but I prefer other neutral shades that I have in other palettes. So this one I don't use a ton, but the colors are pretty. The next two palettes are both the same. They're both the Royals palette. I have two of them. I have doubles of all of the Bad Habit palettes, but some of them I have here in Nashville and some of them I have in Chicago, or like I've given away to friends. But I really like this one. This one is called Royals, and this is a dupe to the Modern Renaissance from Anastasia. I really like this palette. This shade right here I'm absolutely obsessed with. It is the best all over the lid shade ever. So beautiful. So I do really like this palette. And then the last one that I have is the Retro Love, and this one is another dupe to the Anastasia palette. I think it's the Subculture one. I could be wrong, but to be honest, I don't really use this palette that often just because these shades aren't shades that I normally go for, but I do think the palette is really pretty. So those are all the shades that I have here in this little compartment thing, and now I'm going to move on to the first drawer in my Alex 9 drawers. So now we are moving on to my Alex 9 drawers. I will go through all of these drawers in a different video with all of my other makeup, but the first drawer is some overflow of palettes that didn't fit up in the top compartment, and these are all my newest palettes that I have purchased. So I'm going to start off with this one. This is the Zodiac palette from Kathleen Lights and ColourPop. This palette is so beautiful. It is so stunning, so I definitely would recommend it. The shades are really good. And then I have, again, another ColourPop palette. This is with, again, Kathleen Lights. This is Dream Street. I am obsessed with this palette. This is such an everyday go-to palette for me. I really like it. And then I have another Sephora collection palette. This is the Enchanted Sky palette. And I've said this in another video. Literally the only reason why I got this was because it was called Enchanted. I haven't used this yet. I probably will at some point, but I don't know. I have this one. And then the next palette that I have is a little mini Natasha Denona. This is the mini Lila palette. I really like this palette. These shades are really pretty, so I definitely would recommend it. I definitely am interested in trying out other Natasha Denona shadows, but as far as right now, this is the only one that I own. And then I have another drugstore palette. This one is from Maybelline, and this is the Lemonade Craze palette. This isn't my all-time favorite palette. I do think that these shades are really pretty, but just the pigmentation is not there. It is a drugstore, so it's kind of what I would expect from the pretty inexpensive price tag of this, which is kind of why I normally have all high-end eyeshadows. But I have used this a couple of times and really liked the way that my makeup looked, so I do like it. It is pretty. You can get pretty looks. It's just you're going to have to build it up a lot to get there. But I do really like it. And then the next palette that I have is, again, in probably my top 5. This is the Too Faced Just Peachy Matte. You guys saw that I have the Sweet Peach palette, and then I also have the matte version of it. This is what it looks like. I think these shades are just so stunning. They're so beautiful. They're very pigmented. They blend out really well. I just have nothing bad to say about this palette. And I think the packaging is so beautiful. I love it so much, so would definitely recommend this palette. And then the next palette that I have to share with you guys is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. This is in the shade Bling Boss, and this is what this one looks like. This is the only Jaclyn Hill palette that I own. I do want to get her original Jaclyn Hill palette. I just haven't gotten around to purchasing it yet, but I do really, really like this one. I think the colors are beautiful, so I have this one. Alright, we have only a couple more palettes left. This one is from Huda Beauty, and this is the new nude palette. You guys know I love this one so much. This is literally such a breathtaking and beautiful palette. I love it. You guys will definitely be seeing more tutorials and me talking about this more on my channel just because it is so beautiful. So I do really, really love this one. And then I do have another Too Faced palette. This is the Chocolate Bar palette. I love this palette so much. This just has all of my kind of colors. You guys know I pretty much just like to put brown in the crease and then use like a gold shimmer shade all over the lid. So this palette is perfect for that. These colors are very pigmented and you can blend them out really nicely, so would definitely recommend this palette. It is such like an OG palette, but it is such a good one. And then last but not least, this is the newest addition to my eyeshadow collection. This is the Morphe and James Charles palette, so I'll go ahead and open this for you guys. And this is what it looks like. It is so beautiful, and I did just go ahead and tape the plastic sheet that comes with it that displays all the names on the top of it. But yeah, this is what the palette looks like. I think it is so beautiful. So yeah, this is the last eyeshadow palette that I own. So those are all of the eyeshadow palettes that I own. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe to my channel and make sure to follow me on all my social medias. I will make sure to leave those in the description box down below so you guys can go ahead and check them out, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!